imagine you're running a retailer and you file for bankruptcy, you reorganize, things seem to be going okay, then you file for bankruptcy again, and it seems to be a common refrain in retail. Retail has been through so much tumult, and not specifically and just because of COVID, retail is tumultuous. And we are so overstored in the United States, it's crazy. And then even what are known as category killers have been having trouble surviving. Category killer is where, think about Lowe's and Home Depot in hardware, or think about Walmart and Target in discount shopping. Those are called category killers. But category killers, market conditions can change, and they go from being hugely strong to weak to a footnote. I mean, you may remember in electronics, Circuit City, that was so all-powerful till market conditions changed and they went extinct. And now Best Buy is having a tough time and having to lay off another large number of people. David's Bridal, second trip in bankruptcy. Who knows how it's all going to ultimately play out in the court process. But the danger that I want to make sure you're aware of with any stuff you order in advance is that you never, there are no exceptions. This is under my never, not ever rule. Pay a deposit by cash or by debit card. Always have to remember to say or debit card, because a debit card legally is treated the same as cash. Never pay a deposit for something that you're going to get later. It can even be cruises, because we had all those people who lost all that money, all their huge money on cruises when that luxury cruise line went bust, I guess, last year. So when you pay, and the ones we heard about by far the most, and I did so many stories in my television work on the furniture retailers that took deposits from people and then failed. And people did not get the furniture. They never saw their money again, because the nature of how you pay a deposit is core and key. And so if you order a wedding dress at a bridal store and you pay that deposit by cash or debit card, that money's exposed if that bridal store goes bust, just as it would be with an airline ticket. If an airline goes bust, if you do the cruise thing I was talking about, any circumstance where you're paying in advance for something you're receiving later, this is the circumstance where you pay by credit card. Shopping online, pay by credit card. Because if you pay by debit card, you do not have protections in the event that they never send you the merchandise or send you merchandise not as represented. So I know there are people who are afraid to use credit cards because of the fact that they get into trouble with them. That's a reality. That's a fact. So the time you would use a credit card as an exception to that rule is if you are doing a purchase that involves you getting the merchandise later. And so that would be something you'd have to be careful that you don't buy something you won't later be able to afford to pay for. But can you afford to lose the money you put up if that retailer skedaddles, that airline goes bust and goes insolvent, or any of these circumstances, furniture more than anything else we heard about? I had one just recently involving someone who bought a stove from an appliance store, and the appliance store, and it was being delivered like it was on back order and was being delivered later. The appliance store fails, and guess why that individual got their money back?
Chargeback?
They had paid by credit card for the stove. They had to pay in full for it for delivery later. And the only thing that saved her was she had paid by credit card.